Hey guys, it's Gage with the Mana Clan. We're going to do another deck tech for you today. We got new standard, just a couple weeks old, so we're going to go over a top tier deck that I am going to be playing. This is my personal variation or take on the list, very similar to a lot of others, but let's get right into it here. At the bottom of the curve, we are playing 4th Raven Inspector, best 1 mana creature right now, definitely in white at least. Gives you card advantage and is a decent blocker for 1 mana. I mean, plus it can crew Smuggler's Copter, which is just fantastic. We are then playing 3 copies of Rattle Chains for hexproof, for protection for our spirits, of which we are playing 11 in this deck. It also gives our non-flash spirits as Selfless Spirit, Flash, as a great combat trick. So we'll just get right into Selfless Spirit. As you can see, we're playing 4 copies of that as well. Makes blocking super awkward, makes removal spells really awkward for the opponent. They have to deal with it before they can deal with any other creature. So that's just, you know, it's invaluable. It's fantastic. Make them have to use a removal spell on this to then use a removal spell on whatever they're actually trying to get rid of. It's just a fantastic way to disrupt what your opponent is trying to do. Moving on here, we are playing 4 copies of Reflector Mage. Sometimes can be like a little time walk almost, just bouncing the creature that your opponent played, especially if you are on the play. This just bounces their 2-drop, and it blocks very well against the little aggressive decks. And next we are playing 4 copies of Spell Queller. Fantastic counterspell, as well as a decent blocker in the air. In the mirror, you know, it bounces off other spell quellers, it eats Rattle Chains, eats Selfless Spirits, you know, eats a lot of the small creatures, just like Reflector Mage does, as well as just being totally broken with countering a spell and getting a 2/3 for 3. It's just the best card right now. As far as creatures go, I think Spell Queller is the best. As far as versatility and just whenever you want to draw something, this is what you want to draw. At least, maybe not turn 7, but turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, this is a very good draw. We then have Archangel Avacyn. We're playing another playset. Great combat trick, again at instant speed, getting all your creatures indestructible, and then against the aggressive decks, you can then sack a Selfless Spirit to flip her over on the next upkeep if your board is small, or if you have 2 Selfless Spirits and you're willing to trade 2 Selfless Spirits for their whole board, you can sack one, on her next trigger you sack the other one, and then you just one-sided board wipe and lightning bolt your opponent, as well as making her a little bit bigger. Just a great creature all around. Moving on here, we're going to go to our removal package. We are playing 1 Declaration in Stone. Great catch-all removal. Really good against the tokens decks because you can just go, boop, there goes all their Gideon tokens, and they don't even get any upside for it. Then we are playing 2 Immolating Glare. Very good against pretty much anything that's trying to attack you. A little awkward against the decks with the no creatures, but pretty good against like Thing in the Eyes, stuff like that where they're kind of banking on 1 creature. You just get rid of it for 2 mana, that's pretty good. And then we're playing 2 Stasis Snare, a more instant speed removal, a little more diverse in targets than Immolating Glare. Really good against Emrakul, Ulamog, you know, easily gets rid of them. Next we'll move on to what I consider the MVPs of the deck, excluding Selfless Spirit. And we have 4 Gideon Ally of Zendikar and 4 Smuggler's Copter. Gideon is just can dominate a game by himself, churning out 2/2s every turn. Great beater and can be an anthem whenever you need it. Is just, I mean, best card in Standard right now. Nothing matches up to Gideon's just raw power. And Smuggler's Copter, I think we're going to be seeing Smuggler's Copter for the next, 2 years now with the new rotation, or new old rotation with the new change that they reinstituted the old way. So Smuggler's Copter is here to stay, helps you churn through the deck, get rid of excess lands, and find threats, find answers. Just great vehicle. And can be crewed by everything in the deck. With Crew 1 is just so good. We'll move on to the mana base here. We've got 4 Port Town, 4 Prairie Stream for the dual lands. Pretty self-explanatory there. We've got 10 plains and 6 islands. We run quite a bit more white, especially main board, than blue. But, I mean, if you have mana color problems, you're having some bad luck. Move on to the sideboard now. 2 Ceremonies Rejection, good against the Aetherflux Reservoir decks, the Aetherworks Marvel decks, anything that's playing good colorless stuff. There you go, just a catch-all for that. 2 Fragmentize, again, good against the Vehicles deck, good against the Artifact-based decks, the Blue-Red Spells deck. Very good just getting rid of their Dynavolt Tower, get rid of their win condition. We're then playing 2 Blessed Alliance as well. Very good against the red-white token style aggressive decks where you can gain 4 life and get rid of an attacker. Very good. Sometimes I even like to, swing in. Of course, they're not going to block, they're going to win the race, and then, gain 4 life, untap some creatures. So, you can very easily 2, 3, 4 for 1, depending on your board state and their board state with that card. We'll move on, a little more removal with another Declaration Stone, good against Emrakul with protection from instants, as well as decks that are very redundant, playing a lot of the same creature. You can just kind of hit them all with 1 card. We're also playing 2 Negate. Pretty good in the control matchup. As well as, again, the Aetherflux Reservoir and Aetherworks Marvel decks, just hard countering their win cons. And then 2 Summary Dismissal, mostly for decks with Emrakul or Ulamog. Just exile that creature and counter the abilities. It's just fantastic. I mean, you can't ask for a better counterspell in that particular situation. Move on to the big stuff. Fumigate. Good against the aggressive creature decks. Life gain and a board wipe, not a bad thing at all. 2 Jace Unraveler Secrets. If you can land one in the control matchup, you can pull ahead very easily with card advantage, as well as in the mirror. If you can land one, you're going to stay ahead with cards, with threats, and with answers, as well as his ultimate just shuts your opponent down, just shuts him down 100%. And then the final card of the deck, Linval the Preserver. Very good top end for the aggressive decks, where, of course, most likely you're going to be behind in life and creatures. And then you go, bam, 6 mana, you get 8 worth of flyers and some life. Just a fantastic end the game right then kind of card. Alright, well, I guess that's everything. I think this is a very solid deck. A bit pricey. As far as, maybe some suggestions, if you will, on going down, you could cut a couple Avacens. You could play something that's a little cheaper, like Gisela, just as good as a threat, not quite as good as, a combat trick. Gideon's are, irreplaceable. I mean, he's the glue that holds this deck together. If you don't want to play Smuggler's Copter, if you can't play Smuggler's Copter, you could do Glimmer of Genius, you could do Take Inventory if that's more your style. You could go a little bit more control-y with those. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can take this deck. I've seen it with, the Gisela and Bruna in the deck or in the sideboard. That's a good way to go. That just ends games by itself very easily. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter, or follow us on Twitter, I should say, at the Mana Clan. Link in the description. We just started a Facebook group, mostly aimed at the local players. But of course, if you want to come talk, chat, doesn't really matter. Just like the page. Just let us know we're doing a good job. If you like what we're doing, feel free to subscribe, like, comment, and tap that subscribe button to float in our mana pool. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.